Looking here at the city of Machu Picchu. This is found in the Andes Mountains, right? 8,000 feet high and are on an 8,000 foot ridge surrounded by mountains. It is 50 miles north of the city of Cusco that we just looked at. And it is also surrounded by you can see here, right? It's up on a ridge. And so at the base of this mountain is the Urubamba River. So let's have a look a little bit more closely at this. So in terms of form, you can see here, there are three images, right? An overview. This is a close-up of a building called the observatory, and this is the hitching post to the sun. So let's first look at this observatory. And in general, all of these buildings here at Machu Picchu are built the same way that we saw here in Cusco, right? The Cusco here are a wall, and the Church of Santo Domingo, which was initially the Temple of the Sun. These walls are called ashlar masonry walls. And that means that they were carved, taken as raw stone, carved perfectly, so that they became what we call dressed stone. And they have then a similar shape and size and same surface texture. So this makes them look, see this, pretty uniform, not completely uniform, but pretty uniform. And then they're all in the same horizontal line. Do you see that? I mean, we have some abnormality here, but they are polished smooth, and they're put in these similar lines here, right? Okay, they did this work without large beasts of burden. The biggest beasts of burden they have are llamas or alpacas. There's another example here of ashlar masonry walls. What do you think? Modern wall here? This is actually from the a wall at Machu Picchu. Look at that. Is that amazing? All of this without large beasts of burden, all of this without steel, all of this without electricity and massive electrical equipment. Look at that line. This is considered some of the finest masonry in the world, and definitely the finest in the Inca Empire at the time. So this is a special place, this location, this Machu Picchu. So they're fit together without mortar. Look at that. Wow. Another term used to describe the technique of their wall building, their rock wall construction, is called socketing. And this is also where the stones are chipped away. And so there's this concave face and a protruding face, and they fit together without this mortar, and they don't fall, even though this is a place with significant earthquake activity. So pretty amazing. So socketing, one term to describe this wall making, and ashlar masonry. Okay, another thing to notice about this wall building is that they used trapezoid shaped windows, not square windows, but trapezoid shaped windows, which is altogether amazing. All right, that's form. In terms of content, what is up here at the city of Machu Picchu? Well, I know you can't read these perfectly, but here is a little diagram showing us. Here's the entrances, stairways. They have stairways of fountains. They had 16 fountains at this location. Here is we think it might have been a bath for where the emperor could bathe, but do you see this channel right here? So this allows for the flow of water. There's a lot of moisture up here, and so they had to really control the water flow. And so that would have been done by these channels, by these fountains directing the water. So pretty amazing. They also had, in terms of content, houses for administrators, houses for people who lived up there year round and completed maintenance. And they had also temples, like here's the Temple of the Condor, here's the Temple of the Sun. And then also we see agricultural terraces, right? They are shaping the land. Here's another terrace going up to the hitching post of the sun. All right, so these terraces. So here's Machu Picchu, terraces all around, right? And going down the side of the Andes Mountains here. And here's the river that I wanted you to see, the Umbamba River. So while they grew food up here, they didn't have enough food to feed all of the people that were up here. And so they were capable of bringing food from at the foot of the mountain. Okay, so what is the function of Machu Picchu? Why was it built? We're pretty clear that it was built for rulers to perform rituals. And right, this is a civilization, the Inca, that believe in supernatural forces, the sun and the moon. The Inca is a representative of the sun, and his wife actually he's supposed to marry his sister first. His wife, she is the moon goddess. And so there is just this significant belief that the emperor needed to pacify and do rituals to honor these supernatural forces. And the more temples that a ruler had, the more powerful the ruler could be, and the more allegiance he would get from his people who felt like he was honoring the gods and creating a positive relationship with them. He's the representative of the sun here on earth, so it's clear that he has got to be the one to honor the sun. So remember, the name of the sun is Intihuatana, and so this is Intihuatana, the hitching post of the sun. So it's intended, so one interpretation is that it is where the sun is tethered, and so as the sun moves across the sky, it is tied to this hitching post, and that keeps the sun going in the right spot. This notion of having this carved out boulder, this is not the only one that existed in the Incan Empire. Spaniards, though, destroyed many of them, most of them. And the boulder represents this notion that the Incas found supernatural forces in the environment as well, right? They honored all these mountains that they had to, live with. And so the belief in these landscapes having supernatural forces meant that they honored them with these carved boulders throughout the empire. So another reality is, and you can see this today, on November 11th, which is coming up this week for us, the sun rests for a while exactly over this hitching spot. Now, it's thought that there used to be like a platter, a curved platter, and there's some allegation that the platter was taken early on when this was being explored. Oh, and so we don't know exactly what the ritual was that the emperor created here, only that there was some ritual done here. Okay, another example of this exact same function is that this is from our image set. This is an observatory, this building is. And you can see it here, right? It is a little bit denigrated. It has a lower half, evidently a cave in here. Here's another view of it. It's curved, right? Interestingly, I think it's the only curved building up. So it would be an extremely important building also. So this building, this observatory, was used obviously for tracking astronomical events. And it calculated the solstice in June, and it tracked every morning the rise of constellations. And so here in the Northwest, we see this constellation. This is Orion. I see him at 5:30 in the morning. If I head south on a run, you can see him up in that southern sky. And the belt of Orion, right? Arrow going up here and over here, so through Taurus the bull, right over here are the Seven Sisters. And those were a very highly regarded constellation, most important constellation for the Inca. And so they would track the rise of this Seven Sisters every morning. Also, at the base of that observatory building, these were mirrors, water mirrors. So placing water here, they could observe the path of the sun. Context. Machu Picchu, we know, was built by Pachacuti, the first emperor of the Incan Empire. And right, we already noted that he would have wanted to control this empire, expand the empire, and get people behind him. And so he would be creating carrying out the rituals and creating temples. The Machu Picchu was abandoned by the Inca when the Spanish invaded. And so essentially it was kind of preserved because the Spaniards would have destroyed it like they did, Cusco and everything else, pretty much. And so it became overgrown and was discovered, I guess, refound, and then shared with the whole world by this guy Hiram Bingham. Hiram Bingham was an archaeologist, and he was associated with Yale University. Interestingly, he is the one also, Hiram Bingham, is accused of having taken a platter off the hitching post of the sun. Hiram Bingham allegedly took hundreds of artifacts from Machu Picchu, and they were housed at Yale University. In 2011, there was an agreement signed between the government of Peru and Yale University that Yale would repatriate these artifacts, or some of them, but Yale would be allowed to do archaeology discoveries here at Machu Picchu in return. All right, Machu Picchu, a place to visit. Only 2,000 people are allowed per day.